I bought this jacket and thought I was gonna look really cool for winter coming up in Australia. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Today, we're talking another cult kit, cult stories. And I always have questioned when I have noticed that the US was with Adidas. The US as a country using a German brand, like, you know, it just never made sense. Although the 94 kit is on my list of grails, whether it's the home or the away, I'd love to get the away kit. But the 88 USA template sort of is something that we see throughout football's history. Like, we've all seen the German one, we've all seen the Dutch one. Morocco had it, Porto had it, many people had it. But I didn't know the US actually had it. But also the funny fact and something that I learned while researching this kit is they were referenced as the USSF. So to me, I'm like, they've got a German company making their kits, and then they're also sounding a bit too similar to the USSR. But that was the US Soccer Federation. Now they have changed it ever since, and they've been with Adidas for a while at this time. They moved to Nike the year after the World Cup in '94. So they were an Adidas team at the World Cup, which we all know, like I said, with those kits that we all love. This kit here was actually worn during the '88 Olympics and the '89 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Now, it may have been worn in many other important features, but I think the US standard of football probably got to a point in the '94 World Cup with Alexi Lalas and many others that we see then and even now. So I don't think this kit really got much sort of a scene or spoken about compared to the '94 World Cup kits. I'd love to see this kit be a bit more sort of used in their reference, but I think now being with Nike, we do see the sort of standard of football being a lot better for their talent. We see Pulisic and many others, you know, tearing up Europe, but I'd love to see the comeback of Adidas in that scene. And I think sticking with Nike would be a great sort of connection for them. Being an American brand, like, if you haven't read it, please read Shoe Dog. It's a story about Nike and how they came about. And I think Phil Knight and even Drake Ramberg have really put football on the map for us ever since the early days. Now, I would have loved to see a Drake Ramberg design for the US team. It'd be amazing if he came out of retirement. I don't know if he's retired, but I know that he's not designing kits as he was in the early days. I'd love to see a Drake Ramberg rendition of a US kit. Like, let's all try and get him to design something for the US women's and men's national team. So the badge we see here is the original USSF badge, and that's something that when I first saw, I thought it reminded me of early days Avengers with Captain America. That was changed around '84, and then it was changed again in '94 for the World Cup in the US. And again, I think the early '90s had a different comical approach to the designs, because I really love the '94 sort of things we've seen in the past, but I think early '80s and late '80s, it was pretty stock standard. It was almost like post-war designs where patriotism was a bit boring compared to what patriotism looked in the '90s. It's a really light kit, and again, like I said, this kit doesn't really get much, you know, attention. I really like it. It's a simple design we see, and Human Race actually brought the design back. I'm not sure what the name of this design is. Like, now they have Condivo and many other sort of template names for their kits when we reference them, but we saw this kit come back with the Juve and the Real Madrid goalkeeper kits. A lot of people tried buying that Juve kit, the goalkeeper that Szczesny was wearing, but I think this template would make it a great addition if it did come back. Can you imagine seeing someone like United or even Arsenal wearing this design in a modern approach to it? And finally enough, the US and the USSR faced off in the '98 Olympics, where the USSR won 4-2, and they actually didn't get to wear this kit. They wore the other kit, a white kit. So again, there's really hard to find any evidence or even many footage or videos available of this kit online. So it's really a rare kit. And honestly, when I first unboxed it and saw it, I was really excited because I thought I was holding a piece of history, and I am. This kit here is a unique one, and it's really hard to find. If you do have it, please leave me in the comments below. And I just want to say thank you again to Cult Kits for allowing me to hold something as beautiful as this. It's maybe simple, but to many of us in the football community scene, we do understand that anything from the early '90s, even pre-'90s, is a work of art. The best thing I like about this kit here is the overlapping collar. We do see this a lot coming back in the Adidas sort of template. Even though these are a few years apart, I do see the trial and errors of kits in the past that make the ones in the future a lot better, but I do see how technology allowed the kit in the future to be a lot lighter compared to what it was only a few years behind. And one more thing I do notice about kits in this generation, the early late 80s, is that material used for their collars is a lot thicker, a lot more elastic. So I think material wise, a lot more was used to produce kits in the early and late 80s. Of course, it does feature the iconic 3 stripes on the sides here, something Adidas has always lived up on. And I think now in the future, I'd love to see this paneling system here on top compared to what they have with just the 3 pieces of material running across to the shoulder, if not being cut there to the sleeve. And of course, both the badge and the manufacturer here are both stitched on. Something I'd love to see a lot more come back in the stitching of the badge, where you can actually see the stitching rather than just a whole piece attached. But yeah, let me know, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is the best, if not one of the best US kits, or do you think 94 takes it and blows it out of the park? Honestly, I believe that there's a lot of kits out there we don't even know of, and I'd love to see a lot more footage. So if you have any links, any footage that you'd like me to watch, and I'd love to see. And of course, if there's any specific footballer that has worn this that I totally forgot, let me know. Trying to research this, not being American, I don't really know many of them. If it was anyone else in Europe or even Australia, I would definitely understand who they are. But again, let me know in the comments below. Well, as always, please stay safe, stay away from stupid people, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.